So welcome, everyone. My name is Crista Ellis, for those of you who I have not had the privilege and honor of meeting yet. Welcome to the Parkinson's Foundation's Mindfulness Monday. Just a note for today's session, you will need a pen and paper, a journal, or if you want, you can use the keyboard, type into the chat. I will be offering some prompts today. If you're new to the space, just know that you will be muted during the full duration of our session. You can choose to communicate with me and our Mindful Parkinson's community by using the chat function. You see that this is a very present community, so feel free to join us on video if you're comfortable with it and have the ability to do so. Our next live English session, we'll be covering the basics of mindfulness and returning a guest speaker, Devin Hayes. Devin and Nico will be joining us again this calendar year for our mindfulness session. Super excited to have them back. For the remaining of our PD Health at Home events this week, we have Parkinson's 101 on Wellness Wednesday, which will be February 1st. If you're new to Parkinson's disease or just kind of want to refresh on the basics of Parkinson's, you can join us this Wellness Wednesday on February 1st. And we'll be releasing our Fitness Fridays every Friday on YouTube, and our next live Fitness Friday will be February 17th, and we'll be doing a session to improve movement, voice, and cognition. If you're interested in learning more about our PD Health at Home programming, parkinson.org/pdhealth is your website. The Parkinson's Foundation is pleased to announce that a new initiative is being launched starting on February 1st. The PD Solo Network. Living Alone with PD is intended to be a virtual community for individuals living with PD who live alone. The initial goals of the network include building a community of support, a place to share challenges and solutions, as well as information and resources. So if you're navigating this disease on your own, please do join us this Wednesday. There's 2 sessions this week at 1 p.m. or 7:30 p.m., and that is Eastern Standard Time. And as always, your feedback is important to us, so please take time after today's session to provide us with your feedback. Again, just pushing the website, parkinson.org. We have extensive amounts of information on that webpage. You can always reach out to our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO or email us at helpline@parkinson.org. So we're here. It's almost a new month. And it's been a while since I've had the honor of kind of guiding the dialogue for our sessions as of late. So really feeling an abundance of gratitude for this opportunity today with you all. The title of today's session is Reducing Stress and Anger. And so I always in my sessions want to start a baseline of understanding. So defining the terms that we're going to be using so that we can move through our mindful practice with an understanding. So let's first get an understanding of what stress is, what it means for people with Parkinson's and our loved ones who are affected by Parkinson's disease. The American Institute of Stress defines stress as physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension. People have different ideas of what the definition of stress is. Many ideas and definitions of stress do not consider good stress or healthy stress. And stress tends to focus only on negative feelings and the emotions that stress produces. But what about the stress that increases productivity or contributes to our lives positively? For example, marriage. I don't know how many of you have been married here, but that can be quite a stressful moment in your life. Planning a wedding, getting ready to get all the things in place, right? Getting a promotion, positive stress. Buying a house can be really stressful, but very exhilarating and exciting. Having a child, making a new friend. These examples can be sources of stress that positively influence our lives. So let's not forget that stress can be a good thing. This type of stress is called eustress, and I'll spell it for you. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S, eustress. So I'm going to ask you to share just in the chat, or if you want to write in your journal, what are some good stressors or eustresses in your life today, right now? What are some good stressors in your life? I had a friend telling me that she's renting an apartment out in Manhattan, Kansas. And she just got notice that they're going to be increasing her rent. And she's like, this is the prompt to get me to move. She's been meaning to move to a different area in the Midwestern states. And I said, well, that's kind of, she said, I'm really stressed. I said, well, that's a good stress. It's a good stress. It felt very good. Let's see, a good stress. Emily says exercise, absolutely great form of something that can feel stressful. We're physically taxing our bodies when we exercise, but it's so good. Pushing myself out the door to walk on the beach. Yeah, right. The hardest part is getting there. Helping my sister move in with us. Yeah, stressful. I can imagine the family dynamic is changing, the house dynamic. Making new Parkinson's disease friends. Travel can be obviously very stressful. We just got a freeze warning, so I use the stress to bring in my plants. Oh, nice. I like that. An upcoming trip, getting out on my mountain bike, having a dinner party. Absolutely. Having dinner with friends can be stressful, especially when you're the host. Decluttering. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Purging is what I like to call it. A school exam. I wish you all the luck, William, with that exam. Stressful, but can positively influence our lives, right? A close football game. A functioning furnace. Yeah. Can you imagine how stressful it would be if you didn't have a functioning furnace? So a moment of gratitude slipped in there. I always freeze, so that's stressful. Yes, thanks, Naresh. So you can see that these things, these positive things, traveling, having dinner with friends, moving family members into your home, playing with your plants. I did a lot of plants work this week too, making new friends. My son and wife are coming to visit. It's got to get ready. Exercising, positive influences of stress. Thank you all so much for sharing that. So I'd like to, shine some light on the good things before we talk about kind of the harder things. And I'm not going to dwindle down into kind of the bad types of stress. I think as an American, we know that America is the #1 country of stressed citizens. So just putting the words out there for you guys to kind of think about. The bad stress types are known as acute stress, chronic stress, and distress, as opposed to good stressors, which is known as eustress. So acute stress, chronic stress, and distress. Why are we talking about stress today? Well, in the feedback that you guys gave us, stress was one of the biggest influences in your quality of life. So how does stress affect our bodies? How does it affect Parkinson's? Stress is a natural physical and mental reaction to life experiences. Everyone experiences stress from time to time, anything from everyday responsibilities like work and family to serious life events such as a new diagnosis, ding, 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 Parkinson's disease, right? Or the passing of a loved one. Your body responds to stress by releasing hormones that increases your heart and breathing rates and ready your muscles to respond. So there's this tension in the body, the breath is getting really rapid, and the heart starts to beat a little harder. So you see, stress affects our respiratory and cardiovascular systems. It can also affect our digestive system. Anybody get a tummy ache when we're really stressed out? Our muscular system, how about tension in the shoulders or the neck? Sometimes even the low back and the hips. Stress can impact our sexual and reproductive systems and our immune system. Chronic stress can cause a variety of symptoms and affect our overall well-being. So symptoms of chronic stress include irritability. Anybody irritable? Anxiety, depression, headaches, and insomnia. That's symptoms of chronic stress. There's a few symptoms in there that is directly related to Parkinson's disease. So the next tidbit I'm going to share is pretty important to us living with someone with Parkinson's disease. The stress chemical cortisol particularly affects the brain. Cortisol can destroy new brain cells. And we know in Parkinson's especially, we need to nourish every brain cell we have. New brain cells are what we need to create new neuro pathways, new thinking and behavior patterns. The stress hormone cortisol destroys these cells, which diminishes our ability to be empathetic with ourselves and others, and causes our brain to be less able to adopt helpful, peaceful solutions. So thinking about the effect that cortisol, the stress hormone, has on these new neural pathways and our thinking and behavior. And we know that in Parkinson's disease, where our cognition can be impacted. So if we're highly stressed and we have Parkinson's disease, we really need to be mindful about our levels of stress. So I'm going to ask you another question. If you've experienced a highly stressful situation or even day-to-day stress, can you identify how stress affects your Parkinson's disease? And I'll ask you to share in the chat, how does stress affect your Parkinson's or your loved one who's living with Parkinson's? Heck, even you, if you're a care partner caring for someone with Parkinson's, how does stress affect you and your relationship with your loved one with Parkinson's? Pain and cognition, yes. The Emily's sharing increases my tremor and pain. Tremors increasing tremor, trouble sleeping, less patience. Wow, I freeze a lot, more tremor. It affects most, wow, you guys are really writing in here. Headaches, tremor, dystonia. Yes, less patience. Yes, increased tremor and freezing in speech. Yes. Makes me not as present with my husband. Leg pain. So we're seeing pain, tremors, sleep, some irritability, less patience, right? Guilt as a caregiver. A recent study found that stress worsens all Parkinson's disease symptoms. And my colleague Danielle is putting this study in the chat for you guys if you want to read more about it. It found that stress worsened all PD symptoms, including sleep problems, depression, dyskinesia, which is involuntary movements, freezing of gait, and slowness of gait. Tremor was had the strongest stress effect in relation to Parkinson's disease symptoms, tremor. Participants who are living with Parkinson's who had higher levels of stress, they ruminated more, which means they're kind of fixated on a certain activity or response or word or something that was said to them. They just ruminate and think over and over about it. They scored lower on their quality of life and had a lower disposition of being mindful and practicing self-compassion. People with Parkinson's also reported that stress caused cognitive impairment, loss of focus, and communication challenges. The study also, now who would I be as a mindfulness facilitator if I didn't interject some research about mindfulness here? So the study also found that mindfulness may improve PD symptom severity, and it demonstrated a significantly positive effect of mindfulness on anxiety, depressed mood, and perceived stress. Those are actual findings from an empirical research study. Amazing. Now, the other half of today's session is anger. A lot of this can correlate with the emotion of anger. Anger is a basic human emotion that signals a strong feeling, right, of annoyance, displeasure, hostility even, and it can range from mild irritation to extreme rage. And like stress, anger can have a positive effect on our lives. Anger can drive major changes and mobilize us to take action. Anger gives us the courage to defend ourselves or those we love. Anger can be an expression of physical and emotional pain. It can motivate us to do something about those feelings and emotions. A good example that unfortunately many people with Parkinson's disease might experience is anger in a hospital situation. Taking your medicine on time every time and the staff just is not offering you that kind of care. You can get really angry and start to advocate for yourself, and that drives change in your experience. Or maybe anger towards your physician who's just not understanding what you're going through. And so that drives you to find a new physician. And now you're finding some relief in your Parkinson's symptoms. Despite an unfavorable reputation, the concept of constructive anger is gaining more support from researchers. The motivation and action that is powered by anger can move us toward reaching our goals. It pushes us to fix the wrongs we see in our lives and perhaps even in the world and make it right. The key to anger's effectiveness is for anger to be expressed with the appropriate intensity to the situation while feeling it, rather than repressing it and utilizing this strong emotion wisely. As Aristotle said, anybody can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power. That is not easy. So today I'm going to offer a mindfulness practice that will allow us to sit with our stress and our anger rather than running away from it and come out of our thinking minds that fuel rumination. So as we do, we'll find that seat of comfortability. You can do this seated. You can do it standing if you want, lying down. We're going to practice sitting with our feelings of stress or anger. And wrap up in a blanket if that'll keep you from getting cold. And take your seat and just start to feel your feet firmly on the ground, or maybe they're pointing up towards the ceiling if you're lying down. And your hands resting in your lap. And here, just start to notice and bring some awareness to your face. Notice any furrowing of the brow if you can relax. Acknowledging the tiny muscles around your eyes and feeling them soften. The tiny muscles around your lips softening. And focusing on your breath, just by simply noticing and allowing your body to breathe itself. Acknowledging that you don't have to do anything to make it happen. The body just breathes. And we take these moments of mindfulness to recognize how we're breathing, especially during those times of stress or feelings of anger. How you breathe regulates your nervous system. So take some time to allow your body to breathe itself. Let your shoulders start to get a little heavier. And you may notice that the breath is naturally starting to become longer with each inhale and each exhale. There's no right or wrong way of breathing. Just find the rhythm of your breath as it breathes you. And starting to feel a little more settled. allowing your thoughts to arise. And see if you can just acknowledge those moments of stress in your day-to-day. Maybe those moments that you feel angry that you shared with the group. Just allow that to be present here, mindfully aware of the effects that it has on your body, how it makes you feel. You might even start to feel a little agitation, and that's okay. Let it be present. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you might even notice little pauses between your inhales and your exhales. And in relation to our feelings of stress and anger, we use those moments of pause. Acknowledging and being present with how you're feeling. And now moving away from our thinking mind, we'll start to move into our feeling mind. And start by bringing your awareness to your left foot. You can keep the eyes shut or just a soft focus. You don't have to look at your foot, but just bring some simple awareness to your left foot. Doesn't matter if you're sitting or standing. Really feel the left foot. And feel the tips of your toes on that left foot. Maybe the toenails. And then bring your awareness to the heel of your left foot. It's where we hold most of the weight as we carry our body through this world. Feeling the heel of your left foot. And now acknowledge the whole sole of this foot. Toes, toenails, the knuckles of the feet, the heel, the arch, the whole sole of your left foot. The bones, tendons, the blood vessels. And finally, even the skin covering your foot. And thinking of how you feel in that left foot. Noticing that you have actively brought your attention and awareness to your body and out of your thinking mind. Remain seated or lying down for a little longer and just breathe from moment to moment, taking care of yourself right now. And take a deep inhale through your nose. Maybe you open the mouth and let it go with a sigh. A deep inhale, maybe the eyes flutter open. And let's take one more. Beautiful. We have a few minutes if you'd like to share how that made you feel, what might have come up for you, and bringing the awareness to a very focused part of your body. I feel relaxed, calmness. Beautiful. Like you said, it took me out of the thinking mind. Peace, difficulty holding attention. Yes. Tremor reduced. That's great, Steve. I'm happy to hear that. Contentment, relaxation after a while. Absolutely. It takes practice. Stress in the background coexisting with relaxation. That's okay. A gentle reminder about how I can relax in the present or in any situation. Yeah. I noticed relaxation in the rest of my body. That's great, Carmela. Thank you for sharing that. In closing, I'd like to share a poem. It's a very famous poem, if you would indulge me. It's called The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. The Guest House by Rumi. It is an old poem, yes, William. You can interpret it any which way that you resonate with. I interpret it as emotions being the guests in my house, and they're only temporary. And I get to choose if they stay or go. So with that, I hope that each of you are able to find some relief in embracing whatever guest might be arriving in your house, in your mind, or in your heart this week. And know that you have the tools to come out of the thinking mind. All right, everyone. Happy Mindfulness Monday, and I will see each of you again next week. Enjoy your week. Thank you all.